another class. Another class. This time, we are about to finish unit number 9. Right? Hi, Frankie. We are about to finish unit number 9, a unit that was dealing with imagined happiness in the moments we are living, that we have to fight to be happy anyway, under any circumstances. So let's try to be happy. This class is going to begin with a speaking exam, something that gets nervous some people. Some people, you know, feel very shy, timid when they have to speak. Let's see if it is possible to do it today. If we have some volunteers to speak about the pictures we have on page number 104. Remember, the homework was to choose one of these sets, because they are 2 sets. The set on the left, 2 pictures, and the set on the right, 2 pictures. And you can choose any of these 2 sets for you to speak about during 1 minute. So let's begin checking the homework. I want to show you the pictures. Here they are. These are the pictures. Task 1 is a kind of driving license test. The girl is laughing, so she seems to be happy. Maybe she has passed. The second picture is a fair or maybe an amusement park. The kids are riding an attraction, and they are with different attitude. On the right, we see a man who is very nervous, he's very stressed, he's frightened. Something is happening on the plane, maybe turbulence. And he thinks they are going to die. In the second picture, 2 girls, young girls, in the living room of their house. Maybe they are watching a horror film or a scary film because they are also frightened. These are the 2 sets. Do we have any volunteer to begin the speaking exam? It is important to speak, friends. It doesn't matter the mistake we make, because we are in class, we are learning, right? Nobody expects you to speak fluently, perfectly well. Nobody expects that. But if we don't practice today, tell me, when would you have the chance again of speaking in English? I mean, because we don't have many chances of using our English language in other circumstances. So I would appreciate volunteers to take the exam. Is there any volunteer to begin the exam?
I don't mind, but can I read?
But the problem is that if you read, we will be evaluating reading, you know. The idea is that you make an effort to remember what you wrote.
Okay.
Can you do it?
Yeah.
If you need, you can have a look to your notes, but not constantly, to practice, friend. Yes, so what's your name? Because I can see your face.
Carmen.
Okay, Carmen. I'm going to control the time. It's just 1 minute. So let me, yes, here we are in the timer. Well, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, both pictures show a totally different scary situation. On one hand, the first picture show a man in a plane, and he look as if it's going to take off, maybe, or probably this man has fear to fly, or maybe he detests the heights or the turbulence, or maybe to be enclosed in a small space. It seems that the man doesn't feel so comfortable. On the other hand, the bottom picture show a different kind of panic. Yeah.
Yes, Carmen. Yes, Carmen. Do you see that 1 minute is nothing?
Yes.
Well, Carmen, lesson. What have we learned in this process? You speak too much. You spoke too much about the man. You have to eliminate information. Do you see? Do you understand?
Yes, yes, okay.
You have to speak less. Huh?
Mhm.
The problem with other students, Carmen, is that they don't speak, but the problem with you is that you speak too much. So you have to eliminate some information about the man. You have to say something very simple about the man,
Yes.
and then say something about the girl. If you find similarities, mention the similarities. If you see differences, if possible, mention that. But you have to answer the question. The question is why. I think you answered that. You answered the question, but only about the man on the plane. So,
Okay.
Carmen, what is your problem? Speak less.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you, friend.
Thank you.
Let's see another volunteer. Take advantage of this.
Okay,
Okay, good. One at a
I
time.
am Manny.
Okay. Who's that? Is that Mike?
Manny.
Ah, Manny. Very good, Manny. So, which are your pictures, Manny?
Tax docs. Two, sorry.
That's two. Okay, very good.
Yes.
So, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, we have two pictures. In first pictures, we can see a man who, which is into a airplane, and he is frightened. I think because he have got fear to turbulence, and instead of we have got a picture that there are two girls. They are in a living room, and they are frightened because they spend their time watching a scary movie or terror film. I don't know.
Okay, Manny. Imagine that you answer the question perfectly well. Why are the people frightened in these situations? But there are things you never told me. You never told me, for example, things that are similar in the two pictures, things that are different, some speculation. So you are going to pass, but with a very low mark. I mean, imagine that the maximum is 5, you get 3, but you pass, right, Mike? You pass. Mike, be careful, Manny. Sorry, Manny is Manny. Manny, be careful with he, because you told me he have got. Remember, he has got. That's it. So, Manny, what were you lacking? ¿Qué te estaba faltando? Both pictures show people in different situations, but they are frightened. Both pictures show, en las dos láminas hay gente asustada. Both pictures show people who are frightened in different situations.
Okay.
While, y ahora un contraste, while in picture number 1, the man is on a plane, the girls in the second pictures are in the living room of their house. Mientras que él está en un avión, ellas están, un contraste. and you get another extra mark. See that? Okay, Mike, thank you very much, friend. But you passed, right? You passed this exam.
Okay.
Now, another volunteer, friend.
Me, for example.
Yes, is that Frankie?
Yes.
Good, Frank. Which are your pictures, Frank?
I choose task 1.
Task 1. Excellent. Let me control the time. Give me a second.
Okay.
Okay. I am ready. 1, 2, 3.
In the first picture, there is a girl sit down inside a car. She seems who has done the driving test because there is also a man shake hands with her. So he can be an examiner. She is really happy and she because she surely has passed the exam.
But you have to speak about the second picture.
Yes, the second picture. The second picture, there are 2 children in the theme park. They must be.
Okay, Frankie, you need to speak about both pictures. And the description of picture number 1 was perfect. But if you don't speak about the second picture, you don't pass the exam, Frankie. So the problem is,
I speak less in the picture, no? The first picture.
Yes, you need to speak much less in order to have time to speak about the second picture. Because if you speak about only one picture, you don't pass the exam. The reality is that your description of picture number 1 was excellent, but only one picture. Frankie, you have to speak less about the first picture to have time to speak about the second picture, right?
Okay.
Thank you, Frankie. Well, now, another volunteer.
Me, for example.
Good. What's your name?
Claudia.
Claudia. How are you, friend? Yes, now I know. But sometimes I don't recognize the voice, you know, Claudia. So that's why I didn't know it was you. Claudia, and which are your pictures?
Task 2.
Task 2. The man on the plane the man on the plane, and the girls in the living room. Okay, very good. So 1, 2, 3.
Okay, in the first picture, we can see a man who is having some problems, I think, in a plane. He looks very frightening because he has his eyes closed. Whereas in the second picture, we can see a different situation. We see 2 girls who are very frightening too, because they are watching a scary movie. It seems that these people are very frightening, but in different situations. For example, the man, because he's in a closed space, or maybe because he has frightening with high, and the girls because they are watching horror films or something in the TV that are frightening them.
Excellent. Excellent, little girl. Excellent. You pass, but you pass with high marks because, friend, you were able to find differences, to find similarities. You were able to answer the question, why are the people frightened, blah, blah, blah. You answer the question and you speculated. You speculated saying, it seems that blah, 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 blah. Excellent. So, Claudia, you are passing the exam with very, very good marks. Congratulations, friend. Any other volunteer for this exam? Nobody else? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Carmen. Thank you, Manny. Thank you, Frankie boy. And thank you, little girl, for the effort, right? I am sure that if you continue speaking, you will pass the exam. But you have to control, because you speak too much. So you have to reduce what you say about the first picture in order to have time to speak about the second, because if not, imagine. Excellent. Let's continue with our class. I would appreciate that you go to page 37, but not in the student's book. Page 37 in the workbook. Let's go to the workbook. I'm going to show you the page here in on the screen. Aha, this is it. Can you see the page on the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Good, friends. Very good. And now the question is, because I am not sure, have you done exercise 2? This is exercise here. Have you done it or not? Because maybe you did it with the other teacher.
I did all vocabulary, 1, 2, and 3.
Ah, good. And the rest of the students? What about you, Carmen and Manny and Claudia?
I don't have.
You don't have it.
No.
I have the 3 exercise.
Ah, you have the 3 exercises.
Me
Okay.
too. I have the 3 exercises of vocabulary.
Ah, okay. Okay, so we don't have to do it because you have it. Only Frankie boy. Frankie, listen, my friend.
Yes.
Listen. Let's see, because I have this exercise here with me. In the column of make, Frankie, the collocations with make is make progress, make trouble, make peace, make an effort, make changes, make a mistake. So in the column of make is progress, trouble, peace, an effort, changes, and a mistake. Right? Do you agree, Carmen? Do you agree?
Sorry. Yes.
Okay, and you, little girl?
Yes.
Excellent, excellent. Now, in the column of cause, and remember that these are collocations, this is what English people always say, you can cause confusion, you can cause trouble, you can cause damage, cause offense, cause unhappiness. I repeat the list of cause. Cause confusion, trouble, damage, offense, unhappiness. And in the column of have fun, have patience, have a shock, have an impact on. I repeat have fun, have patience, have a shock, have an impact on. Very good, you have that, so no problem. Let's go then, because you have this done, let's go then to the student's book, page 104. Page 104. This one here. I'm sorry, this one here. But now we are going to concentrate our attention on the part of writing part 2 a report. Writing part 2. And now I have to speak. This is my speaking exam, right? Because some minutes ago, Carmen spoke, Manny spoke, Frankie spoke, Claudia spoke, and this is my turn. Listen, friends, remember that one day when you take the exams, and I hope nothing changes, and maybe in July or maybe in September, finally you take your exam, first certificate in English. And one of the exam is the writing exam. You have to write. Huh? The total time for this part of the exam, writing, is 90 minutes. It means 1 hour and a half. The same duration we have for this class. 1 hour and a half, 90 minutes. So the exam, the written exam lasts 90 minutes. And they divide the 90 minutes in two groups. 45 minutes for part one, the essay, and 45 minutes for the second part. And what is it? What is part two? Well, part two is that they give you another piece of paper, and in this piece of paper, they give you three possibilities. Write a letter, a report, a review, an article. See that? And you have to select one. You analyze the possibilities and you select one. And you write in 45 minutes that format that you chose. Imagine that you have to write a report, friends. Very easy. A report is very easy to write. Now, at home, sit comfortably, because I'm going to explain the main characteristic of a report. And if you are intelligent, you will write notes in your notebooks about the main characteristic of a report. Number one, a report in Spanish is un informe, right? And think, we never write a report to our mother. We never write a report to our father or sister or boyfriend or girlfriend. No, these people never want a report. They want you to speak, not to report. So a report is something you write for someone. Someone wants you to write the report because this person needs the information. This person normally is not your father, your mother, your brother, your friend. No, 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 no. So this report has to be in style. En lo que tiene que ver con el estilo, in style is semi-formal. The essay is very formal, but the report is semi. What is the meaning of that? The meaning of that is that if you make a mistake because you forget and you write a contraction, only one or two, nothing happens. Maybe you need to use a phrasal verb because you don't remember a synonym of, for example, take off, take on. Huh? You don't remember another synonym for example, cut off. And then you have to use the phrasal verb, one or two phrasal verbs, no more. Nothing happens because the report is semi-formal, not completely formal, right? Excellent. So this is something you have to remember. It is very intelligent in your exam to read who is going to read your report. So you know that this person is important, but is not very important. So it's semi-formal. This is number one. Number two, how many words do I have to write in a report? Similar to the essay, similar to the letter, similar to the review. Always in first certificate in English, when you write, you have to use between 140 and 190 words. 140 is the minimum, 190 is the maximum. Always, right? Good. This is the second important aspect. Aspect number 3. A report requires a title. And they are not going to tell you that in the exam. You have to remember, a report requires a title. And you have to copy at the top of the page the title. The perfect title for a report begins this way. Report on. So the title is always report on. Informe sobre. Report on. And then you continue. Imagine that your boss wants a report about the situation of young people in school. Report on the situation of young people in the school. That is. Do you understand, friends? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. Excellent. Yes. Very good. Thank you, friends. Now, let's continue. A report needs a title. And the title is always report on. My friends, let me tell you something. Many people write a report and the title is not report on. Okay, that's true. That is true. But I don't want you to pass the exam. I want you to pass the exam with the maximum possible mark. So the perfect title for a report is a report on blah, blah, blah. Remember that in the exam. Now, every paragraph that you write in the report requires a heading. A heading means encabezamiento o subtítulo, a heading. So every paragraph in the report, a heading. You have to, it's obligatory, you have to copy the heading. Normally, a report is made up of 4 paragraphs. The report needs 4 paragraphs. Be careful with that. Copy that. A good report requires 4 paragraphs. So, the title, report on, paragraph number 1, introduction. Mechanically, the heading of paragraph number 1 is always introduction. The final paragraph, paragraph 4, the heading is always conclusion. Conclusion. But, tricky things, problems. But if in the instructions, when I say the instructions, friends, look at the box that you have on the right hand, and these are the instructions, right? You receive in the exam something very similar to this. The college where you study has been given blah, blah, blah. Well, listen to me. I continue with the final paragraph, paragraph number 4. The heading is conclusion, but if in the instructions they ask you to recommend, in that case, you change conclusion for recommendation. So I repeat, the principal characteristic of a report is that it requires a title. The title is always report on. The first paragraph needs a heading. The heading is always for paragraph number 1, introduction. You need 4 paragraphs in the report. Paragraph number 4, the final paragraph, the heading is conclusion, except that in the instructions, they want you to recommend. So in that case, you eliminate conclusion and you copy recommendation. And now, I am sure, because you are intelligent people, that you are thinking, yes, and what about paragraph 2 and 3? The problem. Paragraph number 2 and paragraph number 3 is where Cambridge wants to check your level of imagination. Right? Paragraph 2 and paragraph 3 depends on the instructions you receive. Introduction is mechanical, conclusion or recommendation is mechanical, but paragraph 2 and 3 is where you have to elaborate. You have to work hard. Good. I want you to see an example of this next page. But first, let's read the instructions that we have here. Look at this. The college where you study has been given a large amount of money to spend either on, observe this, and underline this, either on, which in Spanish means, ya sea en, ese dinero que hay que gastar, ya sea en, either on, y después me van a decir otra cosa, porque either siempre son dos cosas. Either on, improve the classroom, mejorar los salones de clase, or on, ven, aquí está el otro, o en, o sea, gastarse dinero en lo que ya dije antes, los salones de clase, o en students' social activities. So I have two things. Here is very clear for me the heading of paragraph 2, the classrooms, and the heading of paragraph number 3, the social activities. Right. Now, the director of your college, this is the person who's going to read. See that? Is the director of your college. It is a very important person, but this is not the minister of culture. This is not the president of the country. So your writing is semi-formal. Well, I repeat. The director or director of your college has asked you to write a report to describe the benefits of both ideas, improving the classroom, improving social activities, and saying which one you think, look at this, and saying which one you think should be chosen and why. Me han dejado a mí que diga cuál creo que entonces yo voy a recomendar, porque me han dejado a mí. No voy a hacer una conclusión como en otros casos. Aquí voy a dar una recomendación. El último heading va a ser recommendation. Pero ya tengo los headings, chicos. Me los ha dado la propia instrucción del ejercicio. Paragraph number 1, introduction. Paragraph number 2, the classroom. O improving the classroom. Lo que quieran, pero classroom. Paragraph number 3, improving student social activities, o simplemente student social activities, o simplemente social activities. Paragraph, final paragraph, recommendation. Let's go to page 105 here. Here you have an example of this. See that? I begin reading this example, this model, and something that I don't like is the title. Not because the title is bad. No. Because the title doesn't give you the maximum mark. This title gives you 3. I don't want you to get 3. I want you to get 5. So I think the perfect title is, which one? Who can tell me the perfect, excellent, beautiful title for this work? Nobody?
Report on or click on.
Yes, I couldn't hear you. Could you repeat?
The same title, but with report on.
Yes, exactly. 3. You are transforming a title that values 3 into a title that values 5. And that is what I want you to do. Report on our college money. This is the perfect Perfect title. And now, paragraph number 1, see the heading, introduction, very good. Observe the heading of paragraph number 2, the classroom. Logically, yes. Paragraph number 3, social activities, yes, correct. And the final paragraph, recommendation. So as you can see, friends, if you remember the characteristic of a report, you can do it easily. Logically, this is only the beginning because now we have to write. And I don't know you, but in my case, writing is a pain in the neck. I'm not very good at writing, so it requires time for me, in my case. But the majority of the aspects are here, mechanically. Now, listen to me, friends. Advice of a person who has taken many exams, and I know the problems of a report. If I write in paragraph number 1, introduction, I have to write an introduction in this paragraph. I cannot recommend and things like that in paragraph number 1 because it is introduction. So in paragraph number 1, normally we begin with these words you see on the screen. The purpose of this report is to... Mechanically, friends, this is the perfect way to begin a report. Paragraph number 1, introduction. Heading, introduction, and immediately the purpose of this report is to... El propósito de este informe es... The purpose of this report is to... Infinitive is to... You can change the purpose and you can use the aim because they are similar, right? Propósito, objetivo is the same. The aim of this report is to blah, blah, blah. Some students use objective. Yes, aim, objective, purpose. The objective of this report is to blah, blah, blah. So, friends, mechanize this in your mind. Don't forget this because it saves time. Nos ahorra tiempo en el examen. 45 minutos se van volando. So when I begin my report, immediately I copy report on the title. Introduction. The purpose of this report is to mechanically to save time. The introduction, the first paragraph for Cambridge must be short. 2 sentences is perfect. Some students write 3. Okay, no problem, but 2 sentences is perfect. 1 sentence is not enough. It's too short. 2 sentences is perfect. This is everything I can tell you to help you doing the introduction, right? Good. A question, and this question is for money. Money, pay attention. What do you have to do immediately when you finish the first paragraph? Who knows the answer?
You have to give your opinion for example, here of the classrooms.
No. In the introduction, in the first paragraph. Imagine that
you count the number of your letters.
Yes, friend, exactly that. You remember, right? Good.
Okay.
Yes, friends. As soon as I finish my introduction, I begin counting the words. Don't count the heading. The heading is not part of the paragraph, so you don't count it. You don't count introduction. You count everything you wrote in the first paragraph. And please, this is an advice of an old man, copy in one of the sides the number of letters you count in paragraph number 1, 15, 14, 20, copy that. It's going to be important at the end. And then maybe you remember the meaning of indentation. Do you remember the meaning of indentation? Maybe not, maybe not. Indentation is the separation between paragraphs. Es que me lo evalúan, me quitan puntos, me quitan 0,25 si no dejo espacio. Se llama indentation. So separate the paragraphs clearly, and then begin the second paragraph. The second paragraph is always the dilemma. Huh? In the second paragraph is where Cambridge is going to evaluate your knowledge of report, because you have to find in the instructions the heading, and when you have the heading, you have the paragraph. This boy copied the classrooms. And now, friends, be careful. Everything you write in paragraph number 2 has to be, tiene que estar, has to be connected with the classrooms, the condition of the classroom, the improving of the classrooms, etc. Okay, so in the paragraph, the classroom, don't speak about social activities because it is going to be fatal. Excellent. Now, imagine that I finish my second paragraph, the classroom. Immediately, I count again the number of words I have in paragraph number 2. The heading doesn't count, right? And I copy in one of the sides the number of words I have in paragraph number 2. And I forget about that now. Again, indentation, separation, and paragraph number 3. In the instructions, I read that I have to analyze if I use the money in classrooms, paragraph 2, or in social activities. So the heading of paragraph number 3, social activities, the other option. And now I begin writing about social activities. I invent problems the students have because they don't have, for example, a place where they can, celebrate their birthday or have some fun or drink something together, a Coca-Cola or something. I don't know. This is the topic of paragraph number 3. And then when I finish paragraph number 3, immediately I count again the number of words I have in paragraph number 3, and I copy on one of the sides. Because now, before beginning the final paragraph, I make the mathematics. Hago las matemáticas, la suma. I make the addition. Imagine that in this moment, finishing paragraph 3, imagine that I have 100 words. I know that I can write 50 or 45 words in the final paragraph. Imagine that when I finish paragraph number 3, I have, for example, 140 words. Now I know that my final paragraph, the recommendations, have to be short, because the perfect number would be 150, 155, 160. That could be perfect. But the idea is that before beginning the final paragraph, I know exactly how many words I can use. That is the important thing. How many words I can use. Because if I don't count the words and I begin counting the words when I finish, what a surprise you are going to have, friends. I don't want you to suffer what I suffered in one of my exams. Well, recommendation, final paragraph. I want you to observe here in exercise 5. Maybe you can see exercise 5 on the right column. Complete these ways of making recommendations and suggestions by putting the verb in brackets into the correct form. This exercise 5 is giving you options to write the beginning of the final paragraph, my friends. They are giving you 4 different forms of saying the same, but they are different. So you have more options, right? I would appreciate, my friends, that you complete the spaces in blank in exercise 5 now, sentences 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? And because the trick here in exercise 5 is that sometimes I will have to use a gerund, ing, sometimes I have to use an infinitive with to, and sometimes the simple form of the verb, that is infinitive without to. And that is the intention of exercise 5. I'm going to give you some minutes for you to do it, but please, when you finish, send me a message, right? I'm going to give you some minutes. Let's do exercise 5 on page, what page is it? On page number 105. Good. Lydia finished. Okay, good. George finished, Carmen finished, and Frankie Boy finished. Excellent. Let's check the answers. Listen, friends, listen to me. Because this is the mystery of everything. In number one, I recommend. Imagine that I need to use ing. So I recommend installing a new air conditioning system. What is the lesson? The lesson is that when I recommend, I have to use a verb ending in ing. Recomiendo visitar, I recommend visiting. Recomiendo ir, I recommend going. Recomiendo revisar, I recommend revising. Recomiendo comprar, I recommend buying. That is the lesson. Esa es la lección. Number two, I suggest spending, similar to recommend, ing. I suggest spending money on improving the social program. So I have to memorize this. I suggest ing. I recommend ing. And they are similar. In the final paragraph, you can use I recommend or I suggest because they are totally similar. But remember, ing. Now, number three, we have suggest again, but with a different thing, with a different characteristic. I suggest that. Sugiero que. No sugiero ir. No sugiero comprar. Sugiero que. I suggest that. And now, after that, subject, verb, predicate. Sujeto, verbo, predicado. Observe. I suggest that the college, el colegio, la universidad, sujeto, should buy, debería. ¿Ok? Si uso sugerir con that, debo usar should para hacerlo muy cortés. Sugiero que la universidad o el colegio debería comprar, no que compre, sino debería comprar. Very polite, muy cortés, muy correcto. You have to study this formula. And now, friends, remember, after should, because should is a modal verb, we always use the verb in simple form or infinitive without to. Dos nombres para lo mismo. Infinitive without to or the simple form, no conjugation. I suggest that the college should buy new furniture for the classrooms. Now, number four. It would be a good idea, similar to Spanish, you see? We can use it. Instead of, I recommend, I suggest, you can say, it would be a good idea. And now, infinitive. It would be a good idea to equip. To equip, infinitive. Con esta fórmula es infinitivo. Sería una buena idea equipar. It would be a good idea to equip all the classrooms with computers. Conclusion. Exercise 5 is beautiful because exercise 5 is teaching you 4 different forms of finishing the report, 4 different forms of recommending or suggesting with the grammatical things, important, with the grammatical features or characteristics. Now, friends, let's go back to page number 105. Let's go back to the model, our college money, que habíamos dicho que lo ideal era report on our college money. And the idea is, in this exercise, friends, that you fill in the spaces in blank, and they are 10 spaces in blank. You see 10, using the verbs that you have in this box, using these verbs: benefit, contain, discuss, find, improve, etc., etc. Right? So, friends, you have to use the adequate verb in the spaces in blank in the correct form. In the correct form, right? It's a very difficult exercise. I'm going to give you some minutes, but please, when you finish, send me a little message for me to revise it, okay? Take your time. Let's do it. Carmen finished? And Lydia? And Manny? Very good, friends. And Frankie boy? And George? Okay, let's check the answers. Listen. Our college money introduction, the purpose of this report is to what? What is your answer?
Discuss.
Discuss for you. Very good. Discuss for Lydia. Very good. For Claudia is discuss. And also for Carmen and Frankie boy. Yes, yes, very good. Very good. Discuss is correct. The purpose of this report is to discuss whether the money which has been given to the college should be what? In number 2. Spent for Frankie. Spent for Lydia and for Claudia. Claudia in past. Claudia past participle. Spent. Money is spent and George is spent. Yes, spent. Should be spent on improving the classrooms or on student social activities and to make a recommendation. I'm going to stop here. I'm going to stop here. Friends, observe the characteristic of this introduction because it can help you in the future. I'm going to read again. The purpose of this is the mechanical part, right? You always repeat the same. The purpose of this report is to discuss whether, remember that whether is a synonym of if. You can say to discuss if the money which has given to the college should be spent, debería ser gastado en las dos cosas que me decían en la instrucción, en las dos. Voy a repetir eso. Should be spent on improving the classrooms or on student social activities. ¿Y qué más me pidieron? Que yo diera mi opinión. And to make a recommendation. Make. And number 3 is to make a recommendation. Porque es la collocation con recommendation. Hacer una recomendación es to make a recommendation. So in number 1 is discuss. In number 2 is spent. And in number 3 is make. The classrooms. Paragraph number 2. The college classrooms are well equipped with the latest technologies. Each classroom already, number 4, already what? Contains for Lydia, contain for money, be careful, is with S. Frankie contains, Carmen contains, be careful Carmen, Jorge contains. It is important to use the S. You know why? Yes, Manny. Because the sentence says each classroom, cada salón de clase, cada uno es uno. En inglés eso significa que es singular. El verbo en presente lleva S. Each classroom already contains computers with internet connection and an interactive whiteboard. However, the furniture needs replacing because students who attend class all day, what? Number 5, find Lydia. Find Frankie, find Carmen, and George, find, yes, friends, very good. Find is the answer. Find it uncomfortable. And this affects their concentration. Furthermore, I want you to observe how this student is using the connectors. Remember, this student is very intelligent. However, furthermore, he is very intelligent. Furthermore, the classroom would, number 6, would benefit, yes, Lydia, yes, benefit money, benefit Carmen, and for Frankie's benefit too. Yes, friends, benefit. Yes, Jorge. So the classrooms would benefit from an air conditioning system, and this would also, 7, would also what? improve for Lydia, for George, and for Carmen, and for Frankie boy, money, improve is correct. And this would also improve the quality of the students' work. Paragraph number 3, social activities, the heading, social activities. The college already has a social program with a wide range of activities for students to participate, Claudia, to participate, George, Carmen, participate, and for Lydia also, and for Manny. Yes, friends, participate is correct. To participate in. If money was spent in Spanish, si el dinero fuese gastado, if money was spent on this, it would reduce money, reduce Carmen, reduce Claudia, yes, and Frankie boy, reduce, yes, yes, very good. Thank you, George. Reduce, Lydia, reduce. Excellent, reduce. It would reduce the cost of the activities for the students, and they would be able to take part in more of them. And now, finally, the final paragraph is the recommendation. This paragraph is short. Yes? Recommend. Be careful with the spelling, Manny. Be careful with the spelling. Recommend. Yes, George. Recommend, Claudia and Lydia. Recommend. Recommend. Yes, recommend is correct. I recommend and observe the ing now. Remember exercise 5, ing. I recommend spending the money on new furniture and air conditioning system, as these would have a beneficial effect on the students' working class. Yes, money, no problem. Yes, yes. Excellent. And now, this is the teacher's work, to explain the characteristic of a report, the problem with the headings, to remember that there are 4 paragraphs, no 3, no 2, 4. Every paragraph needs a heading. The report requires a title, the number of words, the indentation, everything must be in your mind. You need to remember that. Friends, this is the moment to begin writing your report. And which are your instructions? Your instructions are in exercise 7, page 105.
What page, sorry?
Hello? Hello?
Sorry, friends. I was not using the microphone. Sorry. Well, I was telling you that now is the moment in which you have to begin writing your report, and your instructions are in exercise 7 here, work in pairs, but logically we cannot work in pairs because we are in quarantine. So you have to work individually. Work individually. Read this writing task. How do you think the money should be spent? And they give you your instructions. See, it's different. Your town is not your college now. It's your town. Getafe, Fuenlabrada. Your town has a large amount of money available to spend on improving the area around your school. Hey kids, the area around your school. So be careful with that. It's not improving the classrooms, because the classrooms are inside the classroom, the school. No. It's the area around your school. The area around your school can be, for example, the streets, the sidewalks, las aceras, the sidewalks, the park that is in front of the school, the library that is next to the school. I am inventing this, friends, right? I am inventing this. I am giving you ideas. Maybe the area around the school is because near the school there is a big park that the students could use for physical education, for example, but the park is in terrible bad conditions. Or there is a library next to the school, but the library could be in very bad conditions and it needs to be improved. Do you understand? I tell you this because last year one student wrote a report about the problems the school have or had with the classrooms or with the kitchen. No, because the kitchen and the classrooms are inside the school, and the problems are the area around your school. Okay, good. My friends, with these elements, I know the title. I have the title of the report. Yes or no? Report on how to improve. No voy a decir mejorando porque no me cuadra. Informe sobre cómo mejorar. Cómo mejorar. Report on how to improve the area around your school. No. Our school. No puedo decir la escuela de ustedes. Es nuestra escuela. Friends, do you understand?
Yes.
Yes.
That is. So I am giving you an example of the title. You can use it or not. I don't care if you use it. I am giving you ideas for the exam, right? I see this in the exam and I say, yeah, I have the title. Report on impossible to use improving, right? Report on, porque no me pega. Informe sobre mejorando, no me pega. Report on how to improve the area around your school. Good. Now, your English teacher has asked you to write a report suggesting how it can be improved. How, cómo, it can be, puede ser improved, mejorado. ¿Qué cosa? The area around your school. Now, when I begin, I know, friends, I know by memory, report on how to improve the area around our school, and I have the title. Paragraph number 1, introduction. This is mechanically. And I continue mechanical. The purpose of this report is to, for example, is to improve the area around our school. The purpose of this report is to write about possible improvements in the area around our school. The purpose of this report is to investigate about ways of improving the area around our school. See that? But the problem now is, my friends, that I need to write 4 paragraphs. And I have only one problem, the area around your school. How can I transform the area around your school into 2 different paragraphs? Because I need 4. Introduction, the recommendation, and 2 more paragraphs. No 1, 2. I can create using my imagination. Around my school, there is, it is an example, friends, right? There is a park and there is a library. Huh? So we can dedicate paragraph number 2 is writing about for example, the park, and paragraph number 3 about the library. But be careful, if you observe the example that you have on the right, on the left, you will see that the student says that one of these two elements is in bad conditions. However, the other one, the park or the library, you decide, is not so bad. So your recommendation at the end is going to be to dedicate the money to one of these elements, library or park, that you consider that requires more help, right? So when you have only one indication, like here, the area around your school, you have to create two things. You have to invent two, because you need 4 paragraphs. Friends, is that clear? Do you understand?
Yes, yes.
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 Good. Well, it is impossible to write the report today here in class, but we have 10 minutes, and I would like that you, making a big effort, try to write the title and the introduction. Only that, right? The title, the heading, introduction, and paragraph number 1. And when you finish, count the words that you have in the introduction. This is what you are going to do now. And we have only maybe 6 minutes, no more. So let's do it. Write it down, escríbanlo, write it down. And when you finish, you please tell me to check it, because the homework is going to be the rest of the report, right? But I would like that before finishing this class, I check the introduction. Okay? So I'm going to give you some minutes, and when you finish the paragraphs, please be careful with the microphones. And when you finish the first paragraph, send me a message for me to check it. Come on, let's work. George, finished?
Only title and introduction, no?
Yes, yes, only that because we don't have more time, Frankie boy.
Okay, I finish.
Excellent, excellent.
Me too, I finished.
Excellent, friends. Can you read yours? Can you read your first paragraph, please?
Yes, if you want. My first paragraph.
No, the
of
title,
introduction,
the title.
I put the title "Improve around my school." Improvement around my school.
Aha.
Because I don't know who title in this time, and I don't think other.
Yeah, you can say report on improvements, blah, 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 Frankie, because I don't want you to get 3. I want you to get 5. Right?
Okay.
So report on improvements in the area around your school. And then paragraph number 1, introduction.
The purpose of this report is to discuss who spend the money for improving in the area around my school and propose some ideas related to modifying facilities.
Okay.
It's 30 words.
30 words. Aha, very good. Very good. Friends, unfortunately, we don't have time to check others. Listen what the idea is, because this is going to be the homework. The idea is that you finish your work, and then when everything is finished, revise it. And when you think it is perfect, I need you to send it to me to my email address. So I'm going to copy my email address here for you to have my email. My email is this one, Jerry.English language coach at gmail.com. I'm going to attach it to the chat. Can you see it in the chat?
Yes.
Yes, I can see.
Okay, so when you finish, right, maybe you finish tomorrow, maybe you finish on Monday, maybe you finish on Wednesday, maybe you finish on Friday next week. I don't care, friend. When you finish, send it to my email, but please be careful with the handwriting, la caligrafía, because sometimes I don't understand. So be careful with that. And then I have a problem because I have to revise it and send it back. Let's see how I can solve the problem. But when you finish, cuando quiera que, whenever you finish, send it to Jerry email and I will check them, right? Do you understand the homework?
Yes.
Yes. I have a question from George. Can we write on Word? Yes, why not? Why not? Perfect. No problem with that. Thank you, friends. So that's the end of the class. See you next week. Thank you very much. Be nice.
Thank you.
Bye, friends.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, kids.
Bye-bye.